Welcome to Metlife Talk, episode 2 with Alex and Alec.
Welcome, welcome. We are very excited. We're on episode 2 for this week. We are going to go over the 42-10 win over the Patriots, final preseason game for the New York Giants. We went 3-0. Yes, it's just preseason, but it is great to see just the overall vibe that this team is feeling for these last 3 games.
I'm fucking pumped.
Oh, yeah. No, this team has definitely shown grit, excitement. And I feel like this is going to go a long way just to go into week one in 2 weeks because it is creeping up really fast, this week one game against the Commanders. And we're only allowed about, yeah, 2 weeks from today, exactly. So it's pretty crazy, exciting, nerve-wracking, especially having the hardest schedule in the NFL. But I feel like
Bullshit.
this team is building up something special.
Yeah. Also, I'm ready. I'm pumped. I say every year, I'm ready. Let's fucking do this, and then I get disappointed, like I said the last episode. But no, after seeing 3 preseason games, dude, fucking first time since 2014 they've gotten undefeated, 3-0.
Yep.
First time in franchise history, obviously, that they scored over 30 points in 3 consecutive preseason games.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting, honestly.
Yeah, we haven't seen them score even 30 points in a regular season game in quite some time because we went through a lot of dark times, these
Many.
last decade, to be honest. Yeah, we had that fun playoff run, with first season with Dable. Um, that was fun, but after that, before that, and after that, it's been pretty miserable. And last season was pretty miserable. But I think they're building culture in a very good way for this team overall. And the culture is something that we've missed in the locker room. That, we kind of discussed this in the last episode too, mainly with the quarterbacks. To start with the quarterbacks again this episode because it is important. Jackson Dart, another solid performance for his final preseason game. Next time, when will we see him next? That's the question that's going to be up in the air for a while. It all depends on how the season goes, of course. But to end the preseason, he went 32 for 47 in passing, 68.1% of his completions, 372 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown, 6 rushes for 52 yards total, and then 1 fumble during the last preseason game. Another solid performance from Jackson Dart. I mean, I know it's preseason, don't want to get overhyped too much,
But
but
still,
damn, it's exciting to
numbers.
watch a quarterback who can move the pocket and just has control. I don't know your thoughts about Jackson Dart, but I know like you love him too as well.
I
But I
loved
want
them
to know
since the
your
very
thoughts in
start.
general.
I loved them from the very start. I was hoping the Giants freaking picked them. And then I've been saying this. I was like, oh, it's going to be Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart. They went with Abdul Carter, but then they traded, got Jackson Dart, my favorite player. Tough, tough player. I love the toughness he has. He went into that tent after getting, tackled, which scared me at first.
Yeah.
Motherfucker needs to learn how to slide.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be all more reps and everything. Hopefully he'll learn how to slide and, run out of bounds. I know you want to get them extra yards and stuff like that, but, gotta, if you want longevity,
Yeah.
you know, slide, run out of bounds. But I love that video that it had, and like they showed him in the 10. He's like, "Come on, come on, come on, come on, come
Yep.
on!" And then Jameis Winston comes in one play, touchdown, man.
Yeah. So to discuss that touchdown with Jameis Winston specifically, that was to Jalen Hyatt. Um, rough game for him. Yes, he had the touchdown, but Dart threw him 2 deep balls, hit him both directly in the chest, one in the shoulder pad. But again, that was more Jalen Hyatt's fault. The ball was placed pretty almost perfect, to be
Perfect.
honest.
Nice.
And Hyatt needs to hold that together. Hyatt, I don't know your opinion on him too much, but I think he's a one-trick pony, and I don't think He's only good for the deep ball because of his speed and the rock. Like there was the issues last year that we had with Jalen Hyatt in regards to the coaching staff and the coaching staff and him butting heads, him requesting for a trade during practice one time. That's been really under the wraps, to be honest. It hasn't been really talked about too much since the Art Stapleton, the Giants reporter, reported about that last season. And you could still kind of see that he's in the doghouse. They tried to give him to maybe take Darius Slayton's role to be that W-2 for him. And after that, last season, he's just all he's known for is just really running the straight routes, deep routes because of his speed.
You, as a player, I feel like yeah, running, having speed definitely helps. If you got separation, and you got like a quarterback that can throw a deep ball, like Russ Jackson Dart can
Yeah.
shows that he can throw a deep ball as well. But you got to make those plays.
Yeah.
If you're getting a deep ball and it's like literally a perfect ball where it's catchable, you got to make those plays, especially in preseason, man, because there's a lot of people that are trying to fight for that roster spot,
Yeah.
and you don't want to give that spot to someone else. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he kind of is like in the middle because of that one touchdown, but two drop passes, man, like easy catchable. I wouldn't say easy catchable, but at least for him,
It
because
should have been
it's right
catch.
there,
Yeah.
it should have been catchable.
Yeah, no, it's a shame that, we were all hyped about him, getting drafted 2 years ago. But now he's going to the season. This might be the last season with him at the Giants, to be
I'd
honest.
probably say so. Probably get traded.
Yeah, I think a possible trade. I saw this morning Art Stapleton, big famous Giants reporter, is reporting that the Giants can still be going after Gabe Davis for to reunite with Brian Dable and Joe Shane since they were there when they picked him up at the Bills. They already visited him a couple of months ago. Now it looks like they're gonna might revisit that again. So we'll see what happens with Gabe Davis. That might be a possibility of signing him right before the season just to get him admitted, with the offense again. But he's familiar with the offense because of Brian Dable specifically.
Hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. But another guy that I want to discuss about and very important, he's a former first round pick, Evan Neal. Evan Neal. Obviously, he was drafted to start as the right tackle for us. And he was heavily picked, like, in the draft board. He was supposed to be one of the dogs in that draft. And just has not worked out at all. He has completely, like, I am almost at that point where we're saying it's a bust, to be honest. Like, very, very, very close to calling it a bust.
Like
I
Eric
don't think
Flowers bust.
he's almost as
I
worse, to be
I hated
honest.
Eric Flowers.
Yeah, he's almost as worse as Aaron Flowers. And this season, they're trying to put him at right guard just to get something out of him.
I feel like it's kind of working out. He did have some solid showings. He had some that wasn't good, but I think because they put him at right tackle for what 4 years.
Yeah,
Now you're switching him to guard, which I feel like they should just put him at guard from the very beginning.
yeah,
But I don't know. Maybe he's trying to you know find himself at guard. And also it's pressure. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. He's trying to fight for like I guess the starting guard. I mean, who else? Who else do we have at guard?
would be Illuminor.
Yeah,
So, I mean, he's not going to be starting. I know that. Evan Neal's definitely not starting. It's the point that he's even going to get a roster spot. Even may even be the second or third right behind. But I really do think that he's not even going to be on the team next year for like after the season, just because they're trying everything just to see if something will like a dart will stick on the board, no pun intended, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to stick. And this specific preseason game, he looked terrible. His footwork is the worst, and that's the thing that's been holding him back. His footwork is so slow against not even starters. You're going against second and third strings, and you're getting beat off the line. It's just inexcusable at this point. I feel like his confidence is completely shot, And, it sucks that, we had to waste a first round pick on him. But again, you can't really beat down Joe Shane or Brian Dable specifically about drafting him because again, when he was coming out of college, he was coming out of Alabama and he was coming to be known as like the tackle to get in the draft.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate it just didn't work out and he's falling into the bust category. And then on top of it, it didn't help with him. Was it 2 seasons ago when he made the comment about the Giants fans that we should just
Oh
be known
yeah.
for flipping burgers? Like that didn't rub well at all with Giants fans. And then after that, it's like the media market just ate him up. And then on Thursday night's game, they put up a video package of how terrible he's been in the game. He was the only one. So like for the production to specifically put out an Evan Neal how he was in the game and how terrible he looked is not good look at all. So
That would drop my confidence even worse. Getting a
yeah,
whole freaking package of how shitty I am as a player.
yeah, it's not good at all. I feel like that ship has sailed. Jalen Hyatt's ship is starting to sail too.
It's
Evan Neal's is very close of just full Titanic mode. And Jalen Hyatt's definitely you're starting to really not see that flag in the water because it's starting to drift away. But more positive news, I guess we could start talking about is Devito. Devito had a strong
um,
showing, 3 touchdowns, and it was a very impressive performance. Looked very controlled, in the huddle, controlled into the game in general, and his throws were really accurate. Again, we knew it was against third, fourth stringers, but it's still impressive to see all the quarterbacks in the room to look concise and understand what is being read through the defenses. Again, it's very vanilla defense in the preseason, but again, going off DeVito specifically, I want to know your opinion on this. It's going around the media right now. Do you believe the Giants should be taking all four quarterbacks on the 53-man roster?
I feel like they should go with three. If they cut DeVito, if no one picks him up, I'm sure there's teams after that strong showing he had,
Right.
his market value definitely went up. But if he doesn't get picked up by anyone else, he's definitely going to be a practice squad player.
Yeah. I think,
But I feel like you should stick with the three: Russ, Jameis, Dart. I feel like
yeah.
Dart's going to go over Jameis,
Okay.
but
Yep.
Jameis does have a 2 year contract. Backup, solid, not great, but he's still a good leader and
Yes.
funny player overall. But we love him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like they'll go three quarterbacks, not four. And if Tommy doesn't get picked up by anyone else, definitely going to be a practice squad quarterback.
Yeah. I think it's smart to take three. Four is just too much. We have too many.
Yeah, we have
You
too
don't
many.
want to be taking four spots on at the 53 for four quarterbacks for
Yeah,
what? It
definitely.
just makes no
Don't be like
sense.
the Browns.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, the Browns have like five quarterbacks on the roster. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, they put themselves in that, so they got to deal with that. But I don't think DeVito is going to be on the Giants, because he's going to get picked up pretty quick. And I think he's going to get like a backup role, to be honest, because he is pretty decent. He's not decent enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he's decent enough to make a career out of a backup.
Oh yeah,
And maybe like a Jimmy Garoppolo, Brissett, like
Ryan
the people that have,
Fitzpatrick.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the that like the quarterbacks that have made a career off being a solid backup quarterback, and when they need to go in, they could at least win a game or two for the team, while the quarterback is dealing with whatever. But yeah, I think unfortunately the DeVito run has officially is going to end with the Giants. It was fun while it lasted. We had some
Was
good times. That Packers Sunday night game or Monday night game was a great time. And you know, he's a New Jersey guy. It was a cool story while it lasted. But we got a solid three quarterbacks in the room, two solid leaders in the room to, help Dart, build to become a franchise quarterback eventually with the Giants. I think, like I said, the run with Devito was fun. But I think the ship has, I'm going to use this line a lot, but I feel like the ship has sailed, but not in a bad way. I just feel like he just outgrew the room and now he's going to go grow somewhere else. And it's
Yeah.
that simple.
Well, if he does deport the Giants and goes somewhere else, then I know he'll be doing what he does best, and hopefully he does plays phenomenal, and whatever team he ends up on, I'll wish him luck.
Yeah, no, I definitely, he's got a fan for life from me. I'll root for him, behind closed doors, once he gets those moments. But unless you're on the NFC, any NFC's team, I'm not rooting for you.
Oh,
But other than that, if you're on any other team, gonna root for you. He was always good for us, good to the fans. That's all we could say. But I think his time is going to be done by Tuesday night, by the 53-man roster day.
we'll find
Um,
out.
So I want to talk about, I know we kind of talked about it kind of the last episode too, but a lot of people are starting to talk about it. The NFL Network was talking about it a little more this week. The vibes in the Giants locker room, the vibes on the sideline, the vibes, during this last preseason game. You saw them celebrating, literally going nuts down the sideline for just a punt, the guy on their rush blocking down the punt. And they were going nuts, the entire sideline. And then you had the treasure chest that they bring that they're starting this year, that the takeover chest that it's called, to when they get turnovers, they put the football in the Pirates chest. It is a little corny, but I like it because again, we needed a new refresh, a new page for this team because what we had the last couple seasons wasn't working. So them revamping everything from top to bottom, just not even from the roster point, just how they have handled everything, I think has been smart. But the vibes, yes, it's preseason. We understand they went 3-0. It's just preseason. I understand that. I'm not saying that we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Of course, I would love that, but I know I'm being realistic. But the vibes are definitely different. The vibes are great.
Coach's
And
vibes definitely different. Brian Dable
yes,
looks so much happier on the sideline.
he looks like his rookie season again, with the
Yeah.
Giants. So I'm very excited just to see where this team's going to go. But the vibes overall, like I said, is so good. And I hope this carries over to exactly in 2 weeks, when we're playing away in Washington, starting on a division game, back-to-back division games, to be honest. Um, both away too. So we need to start off on a hot note because, like we discussed the last episode too, the last two seasons have been dreadful, dreadful for the week one.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, we're not going to talk about it because we're going to be just straight positive at this point
New season,
because
new positivity.
yes, exactly. Because we're turning pages and it's going to be a fun time becoming a New York Giants fan yet again. We went through these dark times, but I feel like we're slowly starting to turn the page and we'll see how this season unravels. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but I think there'll be more ups than there is downs for once. And we're going to be optimistic by the end of the season.
It's a new day. Oh, yes, it is.
I agree. I agree. Oh, wrestling references. We're going to do a lot of those on this
Yep.
podcast. So
Fits
So
perfectly, dude.
another position that I want to talk about specifically, another first round pick, you know, Deontay Banks. And they've been battling with Cordell Flott for CB2 all season, and it's been a legit battle. And it's still battling. And I think Cordell Flott is going to be the CB2 coming out of week one at least, because, Banks being hurt, this last preseason game did not help his cause. And Cordell Flott, the last two preseason games, has had solid outings again. And I think he's put himself just above where he's going to be the starting cornerback right behind Paulson Adebo. And, Deontay Banks, he's had a lot of ups and downs last season with him giving up on plays that was on tape. And then the coaches told him like, yeah, you're not going to play next. You're going to be benched for a whole half because of what you did last game. And that has not carried over well going into this season. So I don't know what your thoughts about Banks in general, but the guy needs to turn his head around. It drives me
Okay.
nuts.
Uh, drives me nuts too. But, if he had a solid rookie year,
Yeah.
so, you expected him to carry on that same progress he had his rookie year to his second year, or even like be better, but I don't know. He had ups and downs, and I don't know. I don't know if it's like his lack of play. Obviously, he has some plays where he could have put more effort into, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's the defensive scheme. Maybe he played better when Wink was our defensive coordinator, and
Yeah.
now with Shane Bowen as our defensive coordinator, it's a whole different scheme. Maybe it's a scheme that's just not he's not doing well with, or so I don't know.
Yeah, he's great. He's great on coverage. He's sticky on coverage, but it's when the ball's in the air, he doesn't track it. He's there with the receiver, but then the ball is right here, but he's never turning around
Yeah,
just to swat it. He's always there, but I just don't think you can practice and get better with that. Like I keep trying to Giants fans, Giants reporters are trying to be optimistic with him and like hope that he can just eventually just turn his head. That's all he's got to do is just turn his head. But he's giving up big plays, against wide receiver ones and the NFC East. And I mean, not only having the toughest schedule this season is going to be tough, but the NFC East has star receivers in each team. And you've seen him get exposed against those receivers the last two seasons, and last season specifically. CeeDee Lamb embarrassed him several times. And then you had Terry McLaurin embarrassed him several times. And then A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. It just, he gets me nervous in
he
regards of
does.
just, I don't think he can handle the CB1. I think CB2 he could handle, but he gets me nervous with being the CB1. And that's why the Giants had to go out and get a Pulse and a Debo this offseason
Which
because
pretty solid
Deontay
pickup.
Banks. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Pretty solid pickup.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. He's not like, the elite of the elite, but he's definitely the tier underneath that. And that's what we need. He might
Yeah,
be beat here and there, but him going against, Neighbors all off season has been great, good practice because Neighbors is built different and he's going to be a top five receiver in the NFL after the season. I do confidently believe that. But I want to discuss in regards, what our next episode is going to be consisted of and what our episodes are going to be like after, now the preseason's done. So our next episode, we're going to go over the 53-man roster because the NFL
sorry.
teams must cut their roster down to the 53-man roster on Tuesday, August 26th by 4 p.m. So Giants already started cutting some players. We'll see who makes it on this roster, who's going to be I'm very curious to see who's going to be the quarterback two. Is it going to be Dart or is it going to be Winston? Very curious. It should be Dart. That's my
Definitely should.
opinion. And then we're going to go through the Giants schedule. And it sucks because it is the toughest schedule in the league and by far. And we don't have a bye week till week 14, which is just fantastic. Um, so not only we start off at a terrible start of the, schedule wise, but we don't even have a bye week till literally the last time that we could have a bye week in the season. So I don't know what we did to the NFL gods, but hopefully this season, we get treated nice next season. I
Yeah,
pray
we'll
for
see.
that.
I mean, do we have to do good to have a shitty schedule, or what? God damn.
Yeah, I don't understand
Wasn't it
either.
embarrassing enough to not give us, Jesus Christ.
And they put us back on Hard Knocks again for in-season Hard Knocks with the NFC East team. So I'm like, can't get a break on that either. But
I don't need to be on Hard Knocks. I feel like that's just bad luck.
yeah, I don't like,
The
I'm
Jets,
not,
they've always been on Hard Knocks, and look at them.
yeah, I'm not a fan of Hard Knocks in general, like being like my team being on it after last season's debacle of them re-showing the clip of Joe Shane over and over again with the Barkley stuff. I'm over it. I don't ever want to see the Giants on Hard Knocks ever again in my life. I am perfectly okay never seeing them on Hard Knocks again.
Yeah.
But if you if you want to not be on Hard Knocks, you just got to win because that's what really requires. But now they're adding all these different Hard Knocks seasons with in-season Hard Knocks, off-season Hard Knocks, and then practice
But
Hard
now
Knocks.
they're also doing like different, I think shows like even
Yes.
like for the players or whatever, like their lives in football and outside of football.
Yes. Then you have
Like
Netflix, the
I don't know.
quarterback, receiver.
And,
Then the Chiefs have their own series on Amazon Prime that's coming out.
yeah.
Then you have the Jets that
So I
just
mean, I
came
guess
out
you
this
can't really
season.
escape it.
Yeah. It's a lot now.
Uh,
It's going to be dodging a lot of bullets now in regards
It's
of
like
trying not to
same
get put
thing with
on.
WWE with their shit doing like the backstage crap.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I guess it's a new thing. Everyone wants to see like the ins and outs.
Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing as a football fan. Like I said, I love Hard Knocks, but I don't love when my team's on it.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's a big difference. And after last season, I know you and I can definitely agree. I'm happily okay with the Giants not being on Hard Knocks again.
Yeah. But we'll see.
All right, so next week we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be dropping our third episode, and it will be, like I said, going over the 53-man roster, and then Alex and I will be predicting every single game in regards of win and losses for the New York Football Giants for the 2025-2026 season. So please like, subscribe, follow on YouTube. This will be posted on Apple's podcast soon. Once we get a good couple episodes, I can upload it on there. But please like, follow, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thank you for following us, for everybody that has followed us already. We have a lot of things planned, a lot of good things coming up. The season's 2 weeks away from starting, and we're going to do in-game reviews once the games continue. Alex will be at every home game. I'll be at a few this year. It's going to be fun. Alex, sign us out.
All right, episode two's in the wraps. Hopefully, you guys come back for episode three, and that's all I gotta say.
Peace out.
Later.